Welcome to today's class. Today we are going to be doing a heat building class. So this is when maybe you live in a cold climate like me and you just want to feel some warmth because you can't get it by going outside. So it's going to be pretty basic, and it's just going to be about nonstop movement and moving somewhat quickly. If at any point you find that you're falling behind, like we're going to be starting with sun salutations. So we always meet in the same place. So if you need to slow it down, then by all means. I'm going to be giving some options for amping it up. You do not have to do it. We're going to be like kind of kicking up into handstand things. So if that's not within your practice, simply omit it and keep doing the variation that we did before. But I like to make these practices for all levels. So that means beginners right up to more intermediate and advanced practitioners. So let's come to stand at the top of our mat. We're just going to get settled in with our mountain pose. So let's have our toes touching, a slight gap between our heels. And then I want everyone to lift up your toes, all 10 toes, please. Spread them as wide as you can. And then starting with the pinky toe, you're trying to set that one down and then work your way towards the big toe. They don't always cooperate, but just do the best. So do that again. Really fan out your toes and try to fan them down, starting from the pinky to the big toe. We're going to do a little body scan starting at the ankles, just feeling strong and engaged throughout the entire body, because this is an active pose. We're not really doing anything, but we don't want to just be standing here all limp. So we're just going to mentally activate, starting with our ankles, moving up through our shins, our calves, our knees. Recognize if you have a tendency to hyperextend, bring that micro bend into your knee, coming up through the thighs, the hips. We're going to stop here. Picture your pelvis like a bowl, and now tilt the bowl forward. So this is an anterior pelvic tilt, and then tilt the bowl backwards, kind of like you're tucking your tail between your legs if you were a dog. Posterior pelvic tilt. Do that a couple times. Just feel the different positioning of your pelvis, and then try to bring it to a neutral point where the bowl is sitting upright. So if the bowl was full of water, none of it would be spilling out forward or backward. With this pelvic tilt, or neutral pelvic tilt, neutral pelvis, let's call it, our stomach is slightly engaged. You can also accentuate that by taking a slight exhale and feel that slight engagement in your core that you get. Now try to keep that. When you start inhaling, breathing normally, try to keep that slight engagement in your core. Coming up through our chest, we're proud in the chest. You can accentuate that by rolling the shoulders down and back, the spine, palms face forward. Now, while we're proud in the chest, we're humble in the head, so the chin is slightly tucked. We're not holding our nose up to anyone else because we're not better than anyone else. And then to elongate a little bit more, imagine a rope attached to the crown of your head and someone's pulling up on it. So you should feel yourself grow a little bit taller. So this is our very strong, very active starting position, our mountain pose, Tadasana. And then from here, let's begin. Inhale, arms up. You can bring your gaze between the thumbs. Exhale, fold forward, generous bend in the knees. Sorry, my dog's playing with the toy. Bring your rib cage to your thighs. This first one's going to be a little bit slower because I like to give a bunch of cues. So rib cage to thighs, and then from there, maybe start to straighten your legs a little bit, or with each round of this, maybe the legs will straighten a little bit more as we warm up. Rip the mat apart with your feet, so you're engaging through the glutes here as well. And then we're going to inhale, half lift, hands can come to the shins, wherever it works for you. Exhale, plant the palms, and we're just going to gentle step back. And I just do little circles here. You can always lower to the knees if you want something a little bit more gentle. We're just warming up into the wrists here because it is a lot of weight bearing on the wrists. These are small joints, so to go into it cold is kind of unfair to our hands, our wrists, our forearms. So we're just doing little circles here. And then I want you to claw into the mat like you're a cat clawing into a blanket. And then start rotating your hands in different directions, just feeling it. If you need to come more into a tabletop position, if that feels too hard doing it in that extended position, then by all means, do a couple rounds of that. Now come back and I want you to shift forward again. Try to bring your shoulders beyond your wrists. Pull it back. Shift forward. Grip through your fingers too, so we're really warming up through the forearms. Getting our wrists prepared. And then from here, let's just stay on our knees, since I'm assuming most of us are here.
Bring the shoulders beyond the wrists. Hug the elbows in so that they're not flaring out to the sides. You want them skimming the sides of your body as we lower down for a gentle chaturanga there. And then our first upward facing dog will actually be a cobra, because again, we're just kind of warming up through the spine. We don't want to go into anything too intense right off the get-go. So warming up, tuck your tail between your legs, engage through your glutes, taking any compression out of the lower back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. From here, we're going to tuck the toes, plant the hands. You can come through the knees first and come into our downward facing dog. One round of breath here. In our downward facing dog, let's take a generous double knee bend, trying to bring our rib cage to our thighs again, and then keeping your rib cage pushing towards your thighs, so don't move anything through the upper body. We want to be really open through the shoulders, so we don't want to be like this. We want to be as open as possible. From here, we start to straighten the legs. So I'm just going to show you the difference again. So if we're in our downward facing dog like this and trying to straighten our legs from here, well, you can see that the shoulders are pretty closed. We want more openness through the shoulders. And so I really like this cue of bringing the rib cage to the thighs, because it forces our shoulders open. Of course, just work at your own level. And then without moving the upper body, we straighten the legs, trying to melt the heels down towards the mat. All right, enough talking for me. We're going to flow a little bit more. Inhale, look between the hands, come up on the toes, bend the knees, hopper step, top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, rib cage to thighs. Deep inhales, we round up one vertebrae at a time. Arms come all the way up. Exhale, arms come down by your side. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Rib cage to thighs, rip them out apart with your feet. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Hopper step back, shift forward. Chaturanga, try to hover an inch off the mat. Inhale, now we'll do an upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One round of breath. Next inhale, look between the hands, come up on the toes, bend the knees, hopper step, top of the mat, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round all the way up, arms come up. Exhale, arms come down by your side. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hopper step back, high plank, shift forward, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One round of breath. Push the mat away from you. Shrug your shoulders up by your ears. On the next inhale, look between the hands. Come up on the toes. Bend the knees. Hop, step forward. Half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round all the way up. Arms come up. Exhale, arms down by your side. Let's do 2 more rounds of this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And 1 round of breath. Inhale. Look between the hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, arms down by your side. Last one. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 2 rounds of breath here. On the next inhale, look between the hands. Up on the toes, bend the knees, hopper step, top of the mat, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round up. All the way up. Exhale, arms down by your side. Reestablish your strong mountain pose, your strong Tadasana. We're now going to be doing some sun bees. Let's get right into it. So on our inhale, we're going to sweep the arms down, try to skim the mat, sitting deep in our chair, arms come up for our chair pose. Bring your weight more to your heels, sit your bum down a little bit deeper, try to get your biceps by your ears. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms, hopper step your feet back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pick up the right leg, bring it through towards your chest. Now this is where I'm going to be giving a lot of cues again. Before we try to step the foot through, try to Push the mat away from you, creating as much distance between the mat and your chest as possible, and then step the foot through. If you need to use the hand, then by all means. Inhale, coming up, crescent lunge or warrior one, personal preference. Exhale, lower. Now for getting our foot back into our plank position or our downward dog, let the knee fall out to the side. So with my right knee, I'm letting it fall to the right. Push the mat away from you again, really activate. Try to pick up the foot silently. Come back to your three-legged dog, lower that foot, other side. Inhale, lift the leg, pull it forward, push the mat away from you, step it forward. Up into crescent, warrior one. Exhale, plant the palms, let the knee fall to the side, push the mat away. Three-legged dog, lower the leg. One round of breath. Inhale, look forward. Half lift, exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, come through to standing. Let's do that again. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms. If for this one you want to jump back straight into your chaturanga, so there's no actual lower, then go ahead with that. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and through. Crescent or warrior one. Exhale, plant the palms. Let the knee fall to the side. Lift it up. Bring the leg back, other side. Inhale, left leg up. Bring it through. Step it through. Warrior or crescent. Exhale, plant the palms. Bring it back. Step the foot down. One round of breath. Again, inhale. Look to the top. Half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale. Come through to standing. Let's do one more of those. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the right leg forward. Warrior one or crescent. Exhale, plant the palms. Step it back. Other side, inhale. Bring the leg forward. Warrior or crescent one. Exhale, plant the palms. Lift the foot, bring it back. Lower the leg. And just settle into our downward facing dog. I always get a kick out of when I go to yoga classes and they say that downward facing dog is a resting pose, because it's never been restful for me. So if you don't feel restful in it, like you feel like you're using energy, know that when they say this is a resting pose, it's more so, it's not easy, but it's about finding ease within the effort of the pose. So set your gaze, your drishti, maybe at your shins, your thighs, wherever it falls. Steady your breath in the stillness, coming back to our Ujjayi breath. And now tucking your chin around into the spine, we're just going to round forward into plank. And we're just going to do some side body work here. So this first round, I'm going to show the modified version. If full side plank is in your practice, then just go ahead and do it. But for those who want something a little bit more gentle to build up to something more difficult, we're going to lower the right knee, bring the left arm up. Now we try to make this pretty. We try to align the left wrist over the shoulder so it's not falling back or over. We're making this nice, trying to stack the left shoulder on top of the right and that shoulder over the wrist. Just nice, pretty alignment. Now you can stay right here. If the balance feels good, you can pick up that bottom leg. Do something with the foot. You can point or flex. Just make it active. Suck your belly in. And make sure you're looking at something steady on the floor to help with your balance. Is she in the shot? She's playing with her toy. Very distracting. Let's lower that side down. You can just come through the tabletop and come to the other side. Same thing here, stacking everything nice. Maybe you pick up that bottom foot. Do something with your foot. Keep everything active and engaged.
come through tabletop again, or through plank if you're doing the more challenging version. We're doing our second set here. So on this side, I'm going to showcase the full side plank. You're lifting up through your hips, really engaging through your obliques. You can stay right here. If you want a little bit more, you can pick up that top leg. Maybe you even grab the leg. You can lift the leg without grabbing the foot. So many options to do. And then slowly come through your tabletop or plank. Come to the other side. Do whatever variation you're doing. If you fall out of anything at any point, just getting right back into it as we need to. Let's do a little bit of core work. Bring your right knee in towards your chest, and you're lowering the shin down to hover off the mat and lift it up and really pike through the hips here. We want to exaggerate. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If your arms are burning, you can do it. Do a little bit more. Other side for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step it back, lower down onto your knees, sit back on your heels, roll out the shoulders, give your arms a little bit of a break there. We'll just do that core activity one more time, and then we'll just do some cooling down stretches. So get ready for one more exertion of effort. Come into your plank, right knee towards your chest, lower down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step it back, lower down, swing your heels around in front of you. We're going to come into a seated little hamstring stretch here. So flex the feet, trying to bring your rib cage to your thighs. If we're rounding through the back, we're getting a back stretch, which can feel really nice. So if you want that back stretch, then by all means, go ahead and do that. Maybe reach for the feet, tuck your chin in towards your chest. But then I want you to straighten out through the spine. You can even bend the legs here. Same concept as with the standing. Bring your rib cage to your thighs. And then maybe from here, you work on straightening the legs. Maybe not today, but eventually over time. You can work with your breath here to help keep us from rounding through the back right now. You can inhale to lengthen out through the crown of your head. So again, with that rope, someone's pulling on it. And then exhale, fold just a little bit deeper, trying to bring your rib cage closer to your thighs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. One more time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Slowly come all the way back up. We're going to work into the hips by doing double pigeon. So I'm just turning so that you can see. So if this is really uncomfortable for you, or if it's just not working for your legs, you can do something like a butterfly, or just come into regular pigeon with one leg in top. I really like this variation. I don't even stack you'll see some people do the stacking. This one feels really nice too. Actually, I'll give a lot of options. So the first option is to not stack your shins, but create a little bit of a diamond shape here with one shin in front, the other foot kind of nestled in. Start with your hands behind you and start to hinge forward. So with my right leg in front, I feel the stretch on the outside of my right hip, kind of glute area. Same thing here, we want to flat back. We're not rounding, we're not trying to bring our face closer to the ground. We're leading with our chest, that proud chest. You can bring your hands in front of you, maybe lower to your forearms. Another option, as I was saying, is you can stack the shins, flex the feet. I think some people do it with the feet on top of the knees. You can see that's pretty difficult. Your knee kind of floats up. So if you're not there, you can bring your feet to the inside of your knees and then start to shift forward from there. Same thing, lead with the chest, not the face. Wherever you are, just find a little bit of stillness for 2 rounds of breath. And then we're going to come up and do the other side. So do the version that you want. So maybe you're just switching which leg is in front without stacking the shins, Or maybe you're stacking the shins with the feet inside the knees, or maybe on top of the knees. Fold forward, leading with the chest. And if you hardly fold at all, I know a lot of people have issues where they think it has to look a certain way, but if you are right here and you feel a really deep sensation in that hip, perfect. That's what we want. Then you're just going to, as that sensation starts to lessen, that's just when you need to start hinging forward more. But as long as you have that sensation, you're doing it right. It does not matter what it looks like. Slowly come out of that one. I want to do a little quad stretch. Someone's taking over. So let's, maybe I'll do, I'll do a pigeon, like mermaid pose to get our quad stretch in. So come into pigeon. I'm just going to come straight into mermaid with my back leg bent. But so you can start with your leg straight and then bend it up. So reaching back for the left leg with the left arm. And then you're just trying to pull, same thing here, depending on your flexibility, your mobility. If you feel a really good quad stretch right here, then perfect. If you need a little bit more, you're pulling that heel in towards your bum. You can even flip your elbow up. You just want to feel that stretch. Yoga has a lot of hamstring stretching and quad strengthening. Not as much quad stretching and hamstring strengthening. So I really like to put emphasis on these types of poses to ensure that we're not going to have any imbalances in flexibility or strength. So what you can also do here to get more of the strength aspect is let go of your foot and try to squeeze your heel in towards your bum, because then you're using the muscles in the backside of the leg. So let go and then maybe squeeze, do a little bit of both. And then you can come out of it by straightening your leg and then just swinging around, bringing the opposite leg in top, extend the back leg behind you. Again, try not to disrupt the puppy. I'm starting with a bent leg, reach back. Even if you can't reach the foot, just using the strength right here is still going to benefit you. But if you can grab it, pull it in to whatever your level is. Set your gaze, your drishti. Focus the gaze to help focus the mind. One more round of breath. You can slowly release that back leg, extend it, and then swing it around. We're going to close out today's practice with just some final breathing. So come to a comfortable seated position of your choice. Wherever you are, bring your wrists to rest on your knees with your palms facing up to signify openness and receptiveness. Let your pointer fingers and thumbs gently touch. You can close your eyes or look down at the ground, a couple of feet in front of you. Taking our 3 final breaths. Let's inhale through the nose, full lungs, and then exhale audibly through the mouth. Again. Last round. At the top of your inhale, take in one more sip of air. Completely empty the lungs, push everything out from the very, very bottoms of them. Bring your hands through to heart center. Push your thumbs against your heart, just feeling it beat for a moment. Taking a moment of gratitude for all of the incessant hard work your body does for you. Take a moment of gratitude for yourself for putting in this additional work for your body, for your mind. And having gratitude for anyone that you encounter in your day today. Namaste.